Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Been out of these streets, nigga trying to eat while the police own family stealing from me. I'm on told me to pray, but white Jesus can't save me. Get him away from me. I don't know what to say. So many niggas hating me. Get them away from me.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Going sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Going sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Trying to keep it on the true side, nigga. Laying low to play it cool now, nigga. Ass niggas on the team, I've been known to get the green ever since I was 2-5, nigga. Coop hanging out the roof, nah, nigga. Cause I ain't stunting on them. Put my whole team on so they ain't wantin'. When niggas doing bad, you know that they be hating on you. Get the hoping that you fall, they be waiting on it. Bullshit, get bread from the envy. Best friends get to looking like enemies. When you got it in this bank account empty. Perfect recipe to breed a lot of jealousy. Looking from a bird's eye view. Learn from everything I've been through. Told my baby girl, if you ain't spending life with the nigga, never let him put a dick up in you. Cause if a nigga wrong, I'ma check that shit. And when you paper long, never flex that shit. Told my son, when you getting money, never trick it to a bopper, flip it over, then invest that shit. Give a lot of game, trying to bless my kids. Gotta keep it real, that's the best shit. Got hitters up in Philly, back in Texas. When I get up on the track, yeah, I wreck shit.
Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome. Always up on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding strap on my chrome.
Going sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome. Going sip on my own. Don't need you all in my zone. Spend so much time alone while I'm riding around with my chrome.
Hey, I'm just following orders. Let me get one of those slow motion pictures, bro. One of the slow motion pictures.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, that.
All right. Here we go. All right. A little technical difficulties there. All right. So, shout out to Just Starting Paint. What's going on, Just Starting Paint? Trooper Nahalia. Yeah, I need that book back. What's it called? What's it about?
It is Understanding Jim Crow.
Understanding Jim Crow. If you can hear me out there in TV land, Trooper Nahalia, I need that book back. All right. Professor Yim. All right, and Vicky Carruthers. All right, I'm not sure exactly. Okay, they must be in school. All right, no sweat. All right, so tonight's class is going to be about fear, right? It's going to be about fear. It's going to be about, and also, we're going to go through as we unpack the class or whatever. We'll be able to. Really, hopefully by the end of this class, I want you to either learn how to be fearless, right? Or if you don't learn how to be fearless by the end of this class, then you'll at least be able to fear less. All right. So we're gonna go into that. Salakia, let me grab my Bible real quick. All right, so look, if y'all got any, he said, calm. All right, yeah, so look, if y'all got any questions, y'all already know what to do. Put them in the chat. You know what I mean? It's going to be, hopefully, Lord willing, this will be a dope class. Lord willing, shalom, Lord of Christ. So fear, right? So I wrote some notes down too, so I wouldn't forget nothing tonight. All right, it's a lot here. Just want to make sure I got everything right. All right. So what is the oldest and strongest emotion? Y'all can just say it, whoever. Y'all don't have to. You don't have. You can just say it.
Love.
Mm-mm.
Fear.
Yes. That's the oldest emotion, because fear is what stops people from doing a lot of everything, pretty much, right? So some people have a fear of teaching, right? That's what keeps a lot of people out of here, right? Because they fear they like the UPK, but they fear that one day when they're gonna have to get up and teach, right? The brother's smiling over here, so maybe I might have hit something there, right? What else? What else? Can people fear? Do people fear? What's one of the greatest fears that most people have? And they did a poll on this in America. What's one of the greatest fears of just average everyday people? Go ahead.
Change.
That's one of them. But I'm talking about they say that this is the biggest one. Go ahead, Matazba.
Yeah.
That's up there too. But speaking, public speaking, people are definitely afraid of speaking in public, right? Especially when it's people how we do it. You see what I'm saying? Like how we go out in the streets and talk to people on the way trying to get toilet paper, right? Chicken wings, go holler at a breezy. Whatever you out here to do, you run into Negroes like us on that damn corner. That's not something that's easy, because think about it, right? You might think that a pastor ain't afraid to talk to people, right? You might think that, right? But a pastor, he's actually in a controlled environment, because those people want to be there. You see what I'm saying? So it's totally different when you're looking at it from that standpoint. Now, the pastor, yeah, he's in the church, he's speaking in front of a big congregation, but all of those people are really there to see him. So it's totally different than you going out in the streets and you talking to people that don't give a damn about what you're saying, right? You going to the hoods, you going to, the places where people congregate, the places where, you got all different types of people walking by, right? So that alone, just that and that part too, will stop a lot of brothers from coming in here, because although they like the ISUPK, they are afraid that that's going to be the one thing that they're going to be faced with by being a member, a trooper, officer in this school, really an officer, right? And so a lot of cats, they don't want to go to that next level out of fear, all right? A lot of people, they fear camp, right? Camp is one of the biggest things that a lot of people fear. They fear that they dread the point that when it's going to come and they're stay here in the ISUPK, that they're going to have to go out to camp. And you'll be surprised. A lot of these cats that's out here, they don't want to go to camp. They don't want to go to camp and come into the school because of camp and the fact that you got to go out here and you got to be in dangerous areas sometimes, because we in the hood. You know how many times people be telling me all the time, like, wait a minute, y'all on 4th and Monroe? Y'all right there? Damn, that's kind of, But remember, in the truth, you have to go against your natural instincts, right? Because your natural instincts will tell you, hey, that might not be the best place to go and have camp. But you got to go against those. You got to go against that emotion, right? Because fear will stop you from getting to that next level of what you're trying to do. And make no mistake about it, I'm still learning too myself. You know what I mean? But I can only teach on the things that I have went through. And I can tell you one thing, man, like fear will keep you in your job. Fear will keep you there. And people will live their whole life in fear because you're afraid to step out of your comfort zone. You're afraid to go and tackle the unknown. So what do most people do? You just work for the rest of your life until your boss has no value in you anymore. right? Because most of it, because let's be honest, we all work, right? Because at this particular time, you have some sort of value to you. But as time go on, right, when you get older, you're less of value, right? And so they'll get rid of you with no sweat, and they'll get a fresh, strapping, new, 18-year-old in that same position that you're in, right? That they can pay less for, right? So fear will keep you in a state from not getting fear will keep you from. All right, what I'm trying to help you to understand is that fear affects all parts of your life, right? It affects how you deal with situations. It affects and in this case, I'm talking about the truth, because this is, this is part of our lives, our daily lives, working, going to being in the truth and things like that, right? And our duties that we have associated with the school, right? So I wanted to pull a scripture, right? Now, the scripture I wanted to pull was, Salakia, I had it written down. 2 Timothy 1:7. Second Timothy 1:7. Go ahead. Well, you had it? Whoever had it, whoever got it.
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
For God hath not given us the spirit of fear.
Right. That we never got that spirit. We learned that. Right? We learned it through life. Right? Life makes you afraid. Goddamn, we're afraid of everything, right? Just look at what's on the social media right now. We're afraid of the damn UFOs. We're afraid of the coronavirus. We're afraid of, getting robbed. We're afraid of, dying. We're afraid of ghosts. We're afraid of dogs. It's like fear rules this place. And because of fear is what keeps you stuck at that level that you're at in your life, wherever it's at in your life, right? And the people that rise above that is the people that are fearless, right? And so that's how you have to be with this truth. You have to be fearless in this truth. You can't be afraid of conflict, right? Because being afraid is really essentially what keeps you kind of where you kind of fake compromise with some situations, if y'all understand what I'm saying. Sometimes you could be in a situation where you just fake compromise. You really didn't want to compromise, but you was afraid of the consequences of you not compromising, right? The confrontation that was going to come with it, right?
Right.
And so a lot of times we just, we really don't want to, ruffle no feathers. So because of our fear, and we just go ahead and just let everybody walk all over you. Think of something, right? If I could just give y'all an example, right? Why does a person get bullied most of the time? When you go ahead. Mm-hmm.
They're scared to stand up for themselves.
Exactly, right. So when that could be applied to daily life anyway, right? When you go to work and somebody that's aggressive towards you or whatever, and because you have that passive spirit, right? They come at you harder. Why? Go ahead, sis.
They know you're not going to fight back.
Right. They know you're not going to fight back, and they know that you don't have enough self-respect for yourself to stand up to them. So what do? They come at you harder and harder and harder and harder until they can get to a point where you in a relationship, that the relationship that y'all have is you being exploited. And they can just push you over and just run you all the goddamn time. Who the hell want to live like that? You gotta be fearless when it comes to whatever you do, right? Because remember, look, we in the truth, right?
Right.
So what the hell you got to be afraid of, right? We go out every week, Lord willing, the weather permitting, right? We go out and we do our job. Why? Because we work for the Most High, and the job that we do, a lot of men can't do. Out of fear. That's why niggas ain't here, man. Look, let's just cut all the way to the mustard. That's why cats ain't in here, because they fear this whole thing that we got. Sisters ain't in here because they fear this place. right? You can call it whatever the hell you want. You go, well, we had doctrinal differences. Man, the hell with that. Because at the end of the day, you know what it takes to be here, right? You know exactly what it takes to be in here, and you're afraid of it. And you can't admit it to yourself because you're afraid. And just for the fact that you even coming up with an excuse to say that it's because of doctrinal differences or something small, that's showing that just in that statement there that you're afraid. And you just can't even admit it to yourself. But when you look in the mirror, you're just a coward. That's why what's the moniker of the ISUBK? No cowards. And that's what cats don't really understand and realize, is that you can get built up in here. You don't always have to be a coward.
Right.
We build men.
That's right.
Right?
That's
right? Every brother that came in here wasn't the same that he was when he first came in here. Everybody's different.
That's right.
Aitarai don't even look the same as when she first came in here. You know what I mean? Like, nobody looks the same because you start to take off that spirit of being afraid, and you start to put on that spirit of fearlessness, and that's what life is all about. Look, what do you say? No bitch assness, right?
I like that, sir.
So, so the Lord, what did the Lord say? He said what? Say it one more time. Could you tell the people where you at?
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
For God hath not given us the spirit of fear,
Mm-hmm.
but of power and of love.
But of what?
But of power.
Power, man. You be aggressive. You know, there's times you got to stand up and fight, right?
That's right.
You can't be humble all the goddamn time.
That's right.
You feel me? You can't be humble all the time. It's a saying. They say, when you humble all the time, then you reap the wages of humility. Right? Meaning that because you want to take the humble road, everybody else gonna walk over you that's not trying to be humble. So you gotta look at it like, okay, well, every single situation ain't meant for you to be humble. A lot of cats be like, well, you believe what you believe, and you just trying to, go ahead.
Sir. That makes me think about the Martin Luther King nonviolent approach and how we still get walked over today because we showed that we was being subservient to someone that needed to be on top of us.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. The civil rights movement was a movement of scared men.
Right.
That were afraid. They were afraid because, who was that? I believe a sister said it. I can't remember the sister that said it. But the sister said, at the time they did the civil rights movement because, they was afraid of being killed, right? Sounds like a good argument, right? So what happened after we joined them? Did we stop getting killed?
Nah.
So if nothing changed and we was already getting killed, what more would it have been if we would have just stuck to ourselves? Right? That's what, nothing would have happened. The same thing that's happening right now. Because, you know how I know? Because we still out here trying to get Black Lives to Matter.
Right.
How the hell in 2021, with the brand new Range Rover that's out, Salakia, we still trying to get, it is a nice Range Rover too. The 20, whoa, that's nice, Dusty Young. I got to get that. But the reason I'm saying that is because of, with all this technology and all the wonderful things and how great America is and all the beautiful things that make America the greatest country on earth. And with all this sense that everybody so-called has, you can't understand that Black lives should matter? You think the so-called the oppressor can't understand that? He understands that Black lives matter. He just don't give a F-U-C-K. And the reason that you can't accept that is because you're afraid to face the truth. The truth is, they don't like you. And the minute that you can be real with yourself, the minute that you can understand the truth, right, is the minute you can get the Holy Spirit. Right? You can you can shout, right? You want to flip? Go ahead and flip. Right? Because you can understand something that nobody wants to accept. And that's the harsh reality of this place. Slocky, I'm going into it. All right, go ahead. Read it one more time.
Uh-huh. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
For God hath not given us the spirit of fear,
Uh-huh.
but of power.
Of what?
But of power.
Of power. Power to do what? See reality. That's what every brother and sister in here has the power to do. See reality for what it is.
Right.
That's the only thing that separates us in here from people that's not in here. Is the fact that we can see the world for what it really is.
That's right.
Reality. And if you can't understand reality, then you're going to be weak. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be weak. I'll give you an example. When you hustling and you selling drugs, right? And before you get to the point of being a baller, you on point, right? You watching the fiends, you watching the cops, you watching the undercovers, you watching the slimy women, right? Who trying to set you up, trying to give you some sex, right? To set you up with the jack boys. You watching for all of that, and you on point. Especially you know what I'm talking about. You on point, right? But what happens when you get money? What happens when you start getting fat? You stop paying attention to reality. And what happens? You in the club, you in the crib with a breezy, and a nigga come in and put the gun to both of y'all, but she's really in on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you might lose your life. You know, like a brother here back in the day named Mo Good. Nigga named y'all. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Mo Good. Mo Good got set up by these two girls. One of them I knew. Her name was Elegant. Never forget Elegant, man. Elegant had what? 5 kids? She had 5 kids. And Elegant, no damn well she didn't have no business doing what she did, right? But she was following behind another girl. And what happened? Mo Good went out with this girl and she set him up to get robbed by some niggas in Chester, right? The niggas came, robbed Mo Good, didn't go the way it was supposed to go. They ended up killing Mo Good, put him in his trunk of his car. And he ended up getting found days later by the police in the trunk of his car, dead, right? The two sisters, they go to get their money, their cut of the deal. The niggas from Chester killed both of them. Yeah, that's the story of Elegant, man. That's her story, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that you have to face reality, and you can't be afraid of facing reality, because when you don't face reality, you're gonna get caught up by reality, right? And here we're able to understand it, and we're able to see the oppressor for who he really is. To hell with him saving whales, saving whales and the squirrels in South America, right? The senseless murders of squirrels in South America, right? Right? What Tyler Ball always say, we always see him saving dogs, right? But that's what they show you. But we're able to see who he really is, right? Because we're able to see reality. A lot of these cats, they don't want to face reality out of fear, right? And so this is hopefully what brothers and sisters can take away from this class by the end of this class. You can either, by the end of this class, be fearless, right? Or you could at least, by the end of this class, learn how to fear less, right? At least just a little bit less than what you was before, because, you know, everybody's just afraid of something, right? They're always afraid of something. So this is hopefully this class will get you right? And we're going to bring the scriptures out there to you know, expound on what I'm saying. But could you read that one more time? The scripture is so powerful. Go ahead.
Book of 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. Right.
Love. The ability to love your brothers and your sisters. But Tyler Paul was on that yesterday. Well, no, Tuesday. Right? No, yeah, Tuesday. Yesterday was Wednesday. I lose track of the damn days. They going by so damn fast. But brotherhood, he was expounded on brotherhood and how, you know, that's the foundation, that we have to love each other, man. That is imperative that we do that, because remember, the kingdom of heaven is within us. We look, we supposed to have the bag by the time Christ get back here. You know what I mean? We're supposed to be in a position, right, that when Christ comes back, that we have something, right? We've attained a level of brotherhood to where when he comes back, we ain't just all discombobulated, right? We're supposed to magnify our offices, man, and show Christ, man, that what he laid down for us, it's supposed to be increased by the time Christ gets back. That's why he's not here, because our brotherhood is all over the goddamn place. You know, Knox said it, man. Knox said it, and I remember this, man. He said, we're everything that we're nothing. That stuck with me because I was like, damn, that's so right. Because we want to be everything that we're just nothing. Because we're everything. You can't be a part of everything. You gotta focus, right? You gotta focus, right? And so this is what we're talking about. We're talking about fear, love, and what else?
And of a sound mind.
Mm-hmm. A sound mind, right? The ability to understand, and that's the thing too, understanding, right? You got to be able to understand, right? When we ask you questions, like the teachers ask you questions, we're trying to see if you understand it, right? We want you to look. There's no shame in saying that you don't understand, right? We don't need you to go to General Muhammad and be like, "What does my name mean?" We don't need you to do that, right? We don't need you to go to the general and say, "Oh man, shalom, sir, Salaki, when's the next High Holy Day?" Right? We don't need you to do that. Right? We don't need you to be afraid to say, hey, I don't know. It's cool. It's all right. We family in here, right? Because I don't know every damn thing, right? And if I don't know something, I know the resources and how I can get the answer, right? You can call somebody and you can get the answer. All right? Any more on that?
No, sir.
All right. All right, let me get Psalms 23 and 4. Psalms 23 and 4. Can you hook me up over here to the side? Oh, let me bring you over here. I don't want you to trip over the cords.
Come on.
The cords gonna get it. Go ahead. Could I have the young man Mike read it, please?
Psalms chapter 23, verse 4.
You got a paper to write all this down?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, don't be afraid to pull out your pen, man. This is about being fearless tonight, right? Don't be afraid to pull that pen out, man, and break that joint down. I gotta write a lot of stuff down. When I be at my slavery, the supervisor tell me stuff, I write it down. So when he say, "Didn't I tell you?" Hold on, let me go to my notes. Nope. And he'd be like, okay, all right, right? He told me the other day he called me, but he really didn't call me. He's like, I was trying to call you. And I'm like, oh, man, I probably had my phone or something somewhere. I probably didn't have my phone. Then I got out the office. I'm like, it wasn't even no damn missed call. That's neither here nor there. But go ahead.
Psalm chapter 23, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
No, you got to say that. Yay. Yeah, yay. Yay, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Right? That's how you want to read that. Mm-hmm.
Yay.
That's right, man. Let that voice come out, man. Right? This is the scriptures, man. This is theater. You got to project. All right? Yay, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. You got it, warrior.
Yay, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Right?
I will fear no evil.
Mm-hmm.
For thou art with me.
Okay. Let's dissect it a little bit, right? So, yea, I walk through the valley of shadow of death. Where is the shadow of death? Especially, can you switch to the jack, please? He shocked my damn palate. The water. Lock it, man. Y'all going crazy tonight. I'm going crazy tonight, man. But go ahead. You got it, Warrior. Where is the shadow of death? Kayal? Huh? Where's the shadow of death? You don't know? And Sister Angela, where's the shadow of death? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. You're right. I'm gonna go ahead and give you that. Right? She's right. I wanted to hear something different, but she's right. The shadow of death is right outside of here. Right outside of here. Because remember, we're carving out our space in the shadow of death, right? We're carving out our place of righteousness, right? But when we leave here out of this building, we in the shadow of death. Everywhere we go. And I know when I leave here, I'm going right back to the shadow of death. Right? But when you in the truth and you in this shadow of death, what does it say?
I will fear no evil.
There you go. Read it one more time.
From the top.
No, where you just read.
I will fear no evil.
Mm-hmm.
For thou art with me.
Hold on, but what did he say? He will what?
I will fear no
I will
evil.
what?
I will fear.
I will what?
I will fear no evil.
Right, fear. There we go, man. Because remember, we got to understand the decisions that we've made, right? We have made a decision to be a servant, right? We've made a decision to be a servant of our people. Yeah, pretty much you're a minister, right? A minister is a servant, right? Somebody that goes to their people and they do it unselfishly, right? These sisters in here are unselfish, man. Unselfish, right? Because I'm trying to tell you, like, we got some of the best sisters, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, unselfish and kind and all of that, man. Right? To where we was in our walks of life before we got here, man. And to be able to get honor like that, man, that's remarkable, man. Right? But the Lord said, but what was that? David, right? David said, yea, I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Read on.
For thou art with me.
For that what?
For thou art with me.
Back to what I was saying before. Remember, when we you got to understand the decision that you've made, right? As a brother, as a sister that's in here, right? You are standing with the Most High when billions of people is not. Right? Let's just be straight up with it, right? You're standing with the Most High when billions of people right now are getting ready to celebrate July 4th. What's that? Saturday?
Sunday.
Ooh. Sunday. So they getting it on right now, right? Because some people took off tomorrow, so they could just go ahead and get it on. Right? So those people ain't standing with the Most High, but you are, right? You're giving up that fun, right? Everybody gonna be popping firecrackers and getting it on, shooting guns, right? I don't like that part though. I don't like that part. I was capped a couple yards down, was getting it on. I was like, damn, he let the whole clip go. But my point is to say that we stand with the Most High. So what the hell do we got to fear? You don't have to fear anything.
Right.
It's all in your brain. It really is. It's all in your mind. Because a lot of times you'll fear something, then you ever go through life and you fear something, and then you go and then it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be. Or if you feared talking to somebody and then you talk to them and figure out that it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be, right? Fear will take you out of the truth. But Tyler Paul, I tell you, so many brothers that came in with him ain't even here no more. Why? Because they was afraid to talk to a nigga about an issue that they had with him. Niggas will run from the school just because you don't want to stand up to the nigga that's checking you, that you feel is checking you unjustly. You afraid to go to the nigga and tell him, yo, I don't like the way you was talking to me like that. Salakia. But, Salakia, I felt that, the way you came at me was sideways, And 10 times out of 10, if you do that, you'll gain you a brother. right? But because you too bitch made, now you ain't here. And then you want to get on and do a ton of videos about how much brotherhood we don't got. But you just too afraid to establish something, right? So, well, maybe we could learn something from you, right? But if you got a ton of videos on Facebook and YouTube, maybe we can learn some brotherhood from you. But we can't because why? Because you too afraid to be here to say something. So you're gone, and nobody at the hell knows or remember you. We'll never remember. We'll remember you. What we'll do is we'll teach on you. We'll teach we'll teach a topic, and we'll definitely use you in the topic. Add 10 scriptures to that. That nigga and 10 more scriptures. That's a class. Ain't really much material. You ain't got to really come up with that much material. That's it. So fear, man. Fear is what we got to overcome. I realized, man, through my whole life, man, I was afraid, man. I was afraid to reach my full potential. I realize that now. And it took for me to come into the truth. You know, a lot of times, man, cats think that everything is going to be all right when you come into the truth. You ain't going to be ready for everything that you do in the truth, man. Nigga like, well, I'm going to come in and I'm going to go into the school when I'm ready. When is that ever going to happen? That's just like when a couple say, we're going to plan to have this kid. What the hell are you talking about? All I know is the girl say, I'm pregnant. And you got to deal with it. You ain't none of that, Planned Parenthood. What the hell are they talking about? Kids come when they come, right? And you either got some bread or you don't. If you don't got no bread, then you got to figure it out. If you a brother and you're not mature, you better figure it out. The sister, if you're not mature, when you get pregnant, you're going to have to figure it out. And that's just how life is, right? We figure it out. And actually, those things make us better people, right? It makes you a better person when you get put up against adversity, because then that makes you work harder to overcome it, right? All right. Read it one more time.
I will fear no evil,
for
thy art with me.
Mm-hmm.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies.
That's right.
Thou anointest my head with oil.
That's right,
my
man.
My cup runneth over.
That's right. The Lord is going to be with you, man. And all we got to do is not fear. Right? That's all you got to do. The Lord will place your enemies right at your side. You'll see them fall. And I'm telling you, since my short time in hearing the truth, I've seen a lot of our enemies. The conscious community is quiet. It wasn't this quiet when I first started in this school. It wasn't this quiet. It was all over the place. Now, nigga, I don't remember the last time. I only watched this. I might check it out here and there. When Captain Tazariak is on there, but it's what's those called? Tumbleweeds. It's tumbleweeds in the conscious community. It's dry. So it's like, I know it works. Let's talk about the Bible. That'll get people to watch. Because who the hell cares about Egypt? Right, really? Right. Nobody care about that. Right. Where they really much, it's really not much to African culture. It's shea butter and black soap. Shea butter, black. Give me some. What's to it? Maybe I'm wrong. Give me something. What more is to it? It's the Doomday Festival. That's it. The Doomday Festival, where women can wear the one what's that? The dashiki, where it's like a shirt dress. You wear big hoop earrings, black, green. That's it. What else is there to it? It's nothing else to it. Nobody gives a damn about it when you really think about it. Right? So what we got to understand, man, is that, fear is a weak emotion, right? And if you allow it to control you, then it'll stop you from getting to your full potential. Right? All right. Let me get Deuteronomy 31:6. All right.
strong and of a good courage.
Mm-hmm.
Fear not.
What? Say that one more time.
Fear not.
Right. Fear not. Right? Are you automatically going to not fear everything? No. But it's a gradual process that's going to get you to where you want to be. It's a gradual process. And you have to not fear to take the gradual process. Right? This is what you got to understand. It's psychological. Right? It's psychological. Right? The brother Mike said he was afraid he was afraid to give out flyers, right? You said that's something that you had to come over, right? So you know what we do? We're gonna give him 1,000 flyers, right? Because surely within 1,000 times you should be over it by now after you pass out 1,000 flyers, right? So, but the point, the point of that is to say that, you know, whatever adversity you come to in life, man, is you gotta approach it without fear, right? Because you'll overcome it. And all the things that happen to you in your life, right? And I can attest to this myself, man. The bad things that happened to me in my life, the walls that I ran up against, it made me work harder to get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the bad things that we experience in life, you can find positive things in the negative things that happen to you in life. It's just all how you look at it, right? That's all it really is. It's how you look at it to say, okay, well, this was something that I ran into, but this is actually a positive because now I know exactly how to get around it the next time. And now I can teach another brother or sister how to get around that situation when they come up against it, right? I mean, man, I tell you what, man, I mean, all through my life, man, I've had disappointments. I've had disappointments so much that I had to teach it to my daughter. Disappointment, right? Every time you want something from me, you ain't gonna get it. Right? It goes to my daughter. That's a teachable thing that you can teach to your kids. And I teach that to my daughter. Like, it ain't no Christmas gifts this year. I'm starting to get woke, right? It ain't no Christmas gifts. It's disappointment. You want that $100? You can't have the $100. Why? Because life is about disappointments, and a lot of times we try to shield our kids away from that, which only is going to hurt them in the end. Right. Because now you can't accept being disappointed. So what do people that can't be disappointed and they got to get everything they want? You'll do whatever it takes to get the money, right? And what happens when you desire another man's dainties? Remember we were talking about that? When he got the fruit on the table, you like, ooh, those are good grapes. Ooh, good strawberries. What kind of bed is this? A portapedic? This is a portapedic, portapedic. Same thing. Potato, tomato, right? Right? Then you'll get sucked up by life, right? So you gotta understand these things, man. These things that's gonna help you. And hopefully, what I'm breaking down is just getting through to you, man. Because all I'm doing is simply taking what the scriptures are saying and just applying it to different parts of everyday life, right? And you can't be afraid of conflict, right? You can't be afraid of conflict, especially if you're going to be a leader. Because if you're afraid of conflict and you're a leader, then the men that are under you are going to be afraid too, right? Because you're the leader. So if you're afraid of conflict, then by proxy, the men that you lead are going to be afraid of conflict too as well, right? Conflict is good. It's good sometimes, man. It's good to flex. It's good. It's healthy. It helps you to stay competitive, right? Because, like I said, once you start not really being able to understand reality, then you start to become soft. And a lot of niggas out there is just soft because you just can't really understand and see reality for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So overcoming fear, man. Overcoming fear is one of the biggest thing that you have to do, man, if you want to grow in the truth. You can't be afraid. I mean, sometimes, being afraid sometimes it helps you learn some things sometimes. Being afraid, like you, just from you being afraid, it helps you get through. It helps you to learn from situations, right? It helps you to learn. So you say, okay, the next time I go through that situation, that's not what's going to happen the next time, right? Look at Peter, right? What did Peter say? I ain't going, man. I'm with you, man. I'm down. What happened when that cock crowed? And they was like, wait a minute, hold. You was with them. You was with that nigga. And what did he say? Nah, what you talking about, man? I ain't waiting with that nigga. What you talking about? Right? But what happened? He realized in that moment that he was a coward. He realized that was his moment. Right. But after that, he worked back from it. But sometimes you get to those points in your life where you kind of you feel it. I remember the first time I felt like I was a coward. Nigga walked off my weed. I sold some weed to a nigga. The nigga was like, the nigga looked me in my eyes and walked away from me. And I was like, hey, come back, man. Come back, man. When I get home, I told my about this nigga, man. These niggas robbed me, man. These niggas robbed me, man. It was about 8 of them niggas. But those things you work from it. So after that, I wasn't giving nothing to a nigga first. Like, nah, money first. And then I wouldn't even have it on me, because you know what I mean? Like, all right, hold on. You go get it. So I'm just helping brothers to understand, man. We all run into those times in life, man. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. At camp is not a place to be a coward, right? That's just not the place. You know what I mean? Everybody out there is the enemy. You know how you know? Because they're not behind the goddamn signs with us. So to hell with anybody. I don't give a damn about nobody out there. All I care is about the safety of y'all brothers while I'm out there. Mataza Pa is scanning. I'm scanning. Tosiyama is scanning. We scanning the goddamn perimeter, right? We scanning the perimeter because if these niggas out here think that you're afraid, then they're going to exploit that. And they're going to go to the weakest nigga who they sense is the weakest nigga out here. They're going to go to you. They're going to be looking. They're going to look at Mataza Pa. Like, oh, nope. They're going to look at you. Nope. Look at me. Nope. Look at you. You like this. That's how you going to look. And then they're going to be like, oh, this nigga. Oh, look at this nigga here. Look at this nigga here. Look at this nigga. This nigga, you don't even want to be here, man. Look at you, man. What the hell you doing out here? Right? Now you the timid one, and now they didn't focus in on you. I seen it happen. I'm trying to tell you. I seen it happen. Right? So you want to be that. You don't want to give off that energy of fear. You don't want to give that energy off because demons can pick up on it. And when that demon picks up on that energy, now we gotta come over there and now if I see that, then I'm gonna divert the attention back to me, and I'm gonna get it off of you. You see what I'm saying? I could go to the microphone. You know what I'm saying? I could hop on the mic and then just start dogging them on the mic, right? Or if another brother's up there and he wants some, then he can go and get some, right? But we're gonna protect you because that's brotherhood, right? But the main thing that you need to do is learn from that and learn and get better for the next time, right? Just because you might have had times in your life where you might have cowered, right? And you might not have necessarily stood up for yourself when the opportunity presented itself for you to stand up, right? But you don't have to let that define the rest of your life, man, or define you as a person, right? Because what is the moniker of the school? We build men, no cowards. Every nigga that's in here at some point in their life might have experienced being a coward, might not have stood up, or a sister might not have stood up to somebody who was being aggressive to them, or they might not have stood up to that boss or that person that was higher in rank than you at your job that was coming down on you, and talking to you crazy. We all might have experienced that in life. I'm not, Everybody's different. But the point is that you learn from those situations and you get stronger and you get better. And that's the main thing. But you got to be willing to fight for it and work towards something that's going to make you better. And that's right here in the school, right? We got all the goddamn, everything you need. What you need me to hook you up with Thushium? You need me to, link you up with Zariva Car? What else do you need me to do? And we'll work on it to get you right. But the main thing is for you not to effing leave, man. Like a goddamn coward. If you a sister, goddamn, work your issue out. Work it out.
Right.
That's every time I talk about the sister, I get backlash, right? But for the sisters too, man, it's not an excuse to be weak either, right? Because a lot of sisters is gone, man. They gone because they didn't like the way the sister was looking at them. I was at the barbecue and I was making a hamburger and she was just looking at me. And I know she was talking about me. And it was you. For sure it was you was the only one at the barbecue, because there was plenty of other sisters at the barbecue, but she was focusing on you, and that's why you can't come to class no more, because you don't like the way the sister was looking at you, right? So you gotta work to get better, right? Read that scripture one more time, Salaki, y'all. That's my alarm. Okay, go ahead.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them.
Nor be what?
Nor be afraid of them.
A lot of people are. They're afraid, man. It's not an easy thing what we do, man. It's not easy. I be thinking about that sometimes, like, damn, man. Sometimes I get that feeling, right? Sometimes it might be before a podcast, or it might be before I get up and speak out while we out at camp or something like that. I get that feeling. And I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, all y'all that brothers that speak and stuff like that. You get that feeling like, okay, all right, I'm gonna go do it. I've been in front of crowds where I've spoken. It's just like you got to overcome that feeling, right? It's not something that you're born with. It's something that you have to exercise, right? You have to exercise that, right? And that ability to overcome emotion is something that you have to work towards, right? It's not something that you're just born with. And some people, even rappers who are rich and famous and people, they always say, look, man, when I go and speak or I go out and sing in front of people, they get that urge in your stomach, right? But they learned and they mastered the ability to overcome that emotion, right? And so every brother here that goes out and speak every week, you overcome that emotion every week. The emotion of, okay, am I going to be, the doubts you might have, is this going to be a good breakdown? Am I going to say the right things? Am I going to say, what I'm saying after every goddamn thing I say, right? I remember that. You know what I'm saying? Because Christ is black, you know what I'm saying? And, and he's coming back for the Israelites, you know what I'm saying? I remember I used to say that. Oh, man, I hated saying that. But my point is, man, you got to overcome those things so that you can get better and you can grow and then you can get stronger, right? And then when you go out there, you'll say what needs to be said.
Right.
You'll get in front of the camera and you'll say what needs to be said. That's what the thing is about. A lot of times cats, they get in certain situations and then you cook it off, right? So now you in front of the oppressor is interviewing you. So now you like, well, come on, brother, right? You turn into something different, right? You got to be just the way you are all the time. Not meaning that you got to yell all the time, right? But you can't be afraid when you get in front of the oppressor, right? And then you talk to him and you tell him what's up and what's really on your mind. You can't have the fear to give it to them easy and put it on them real light. I mean, remember Matanza Paul was bringing it out about what was that the Black Lives Matter when they got in front of Hillary Clinton. Got in front of Hillary Clinton, and then she said, "Okay, what do you want?" They was like, Like you know, like they was offended that the way she said that. You know, it's because you were afraid. You could say Black Lives Matter all day until the oppressor get in front of your face and be like, what do you want? Now you can't articulate it in the right way because you're afraid. It's fear. That fear, you know, you ever heard, I know you heard that, cat got your tongue? Yeah, cat got your tongue now because you afraid. Go ahead, sis.
So I seen the whole video of the Dallas City Council and I was a little scared for them.
I was terrified, right? I ain't gonna hold you. At that moment, I was terrified because I'm like, all of these people are the oppressors. This is a whole panel of oppressors. And now, but how I overcame that? The first word I said was, the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. Straight like that. So we can get it out the way so you can automatically know where I stand at on this.
Right.
And I tell you, man, it ain't no lie. When I went in there, I was terrified because I had people in there that was from the neighborhood that knew me, that knew the old me. You know what I'm saying? I had people in there that were, you know, young, older folks, the police. It was a bunch of people in there, and that was like that was my first time going into that type of a setting. But what I did understand was, and I learned it from General Muhammad, who learned it from Commander General Yohana, is to be fearless, man. Be fearless, even when you get that lump in your throat or you get that feeling in your stomach. Why? Because the Lord is with you, and whatever you say, it's what the Lord wanted you to say. That's what it is. Even if you stutter, I used to think about that too sometimes. Like, well, what if I stutter when I say it? Or, you know, I'd be like, you know what I mean? And then you kind of think like, well, it got to come out fluid. No, it don't got to come out fluid, man. What the Lord say? I made your tongue, right? I made your tongue. What you say is what's supposed to be said. And how you say it is how it's supposed to come out. And once you can understand that, you'll be a juggernaut, my brother. You'll be like Captain Mashak out there, right? Because you have that spirit of fearlessness, right? All right. Let me get Salaki, where we at? I ain't gonna hold y'all all night. All right. All right. Erica Davis. Oh, Yarakal. All right, Yarakal. You gotta change that name, Yarakal. Shit, you got a name. Oh, you wrote it when you checked in? Okay, my bad. Okay. All right. Shalom, sis. Shalom, Gia. All right. All right, let me see. We got okay, Freddie Jones, Robert B. All right. Y'all on here, man. That's what it's about. We're talking about fear, right? And how to overcome it. So it can make you a better person, my man, my sister, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to, let me go to Luke 12 and 6. And let me get Zerah Bakar up in there. You got it, warrior.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 6.
Right on.
Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings?
Go ahead and read the whole. Go ahead and read it, and then we'll go back and then dissect it.
And not one of them is forgotten before thy power.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 7. But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered.
Right.
Fear not. Therefore.
Okay. So could you read the first part? And we're gonna stop there, right? And he says, what did he say?
Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings?
Right. So what's a farthing? Let me get there with you real quick, all right? Let me see. Luke 12. All right. Luke 12. Luke 12. Let me get there. Let me get there with you. Okay. Okay, yeah. We could do that. Yeah, let's go to 4. Go ahead up to 4. Zarabakar, please. All right.
The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And I say unto you,
Mm-hmm.
my friend,
Mm-hmm.
be not afraid of them that kill the body,
Mm-hmm.
and after that have no more that they can do.
Right. Because all you could do is die. That's all they could do is kill you. Can't do nothing else to you. I'm gonna tell you something, man. The most powerful people, man. I mean, like is when you overcome that fear of death, right? Because because that's what most people are afraid of. A lot of people are afraid of dying. Not saying yeah, that's right up there. A lot of people are afraid of dying. But when you can face your mortality, you can face it and say, you know what? It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It's like you were saying earlier, how it was like we in the truth. We're not afraid of dying, but those certain amount of billion that you quoted earlier, they're afraid of dying. Because they don't know no better.
Right. They're so afraid of dying that you have the LGBT. They're so afraid of dying that you got YOLO. Right? And everybody's living it. You only live once because you're just so afraid that one day you're going to die, you're not going to be able to get it all out. So you're going to be nasty as you want to be because you got that fear of dying, right? And so this is why it's like that, right? So it says, read it one more time, Warrior. No, you don't got to read it again. But it says, and I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body. After that, they have no more that they can do. Read on.
Verse 5. But I will forewarn you, whom ye shall fear. Fear him, which after he have killed, have power to cast into hell.
Right. This is a scripture that cuts that whole we go to hell. And hell is somewhere where, you in some place, because it says right here, it says he can kill the body. Right? Read on.
Yeah, I say unto you, fear him.
Right, because the Lord can kill you and he can cast you into hell. Right? Because we in hell out here. Right. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we in hell, man.
That's right.
Right? We in hell every damn day. It's a different kind of hell for us, man, here. We've been enduring it for a long time. So long. I mean, just think about it, man. We know everything about the oppressor. We know what ticks them off. We know not what to really say around them. We know how to act. We know how to talk. You ever talk to that brother? He'd be like, the cool brother, you call his job, he'd be like, Johnson and Bruckheimer. Johnson and Bruckheimer. And he'd be like, yo, damn, what's up, man? They'd be like, man, these niggas got me messed up in here, man. Right? Because, we know how to talk in front of them. We really know how to baby them. Right? Remember the what's that called? Amber Geiger case? She was stroking her hair. Right. Stroking her hair. The bailiff was just stroking Amber Geiger's hair. Right? We know how to talk. Your inside voice. Don't yell. No yelling in here. We gotta be peaceful. Right? Everybody got their inside voice. Right? The inside voice. Right? The sisters be happy when they talking to the oppressor. I be seeing them, man. I be like, sister, all her teeth is. He like, smile, beautiful, smile. She's like, right? But you be like, smile. She be like, why? Right? It's like we know everything about them. We know what ticks them off. We know what not to do. We know how to be passive, right? It's because we've been under them so damn long. We've been under them too goddamn long. And the issue that they have with us is that they don't want to. The issue that they have with you is the fact that you want them to acknowledge something about you that's what they're afraid of. And they don't want to face that part. Black Lives Matter. What? That's like, who in here got a dog? Anybody got a dog? You got a dog? Or you got a dog? Right, you got a dog. We use you for example. So say you came home from work and you was eating dinner and the dog just walked in on two legs. He walked up to the table and was like, yo, I want rice. The first thing you would say is, what was the first thing you would say? You'd be like, wait a minute. Why is this dog talking? Like this dog is walking on two legs and he's talking. That's the first thing you would say, like, damn, the dog is talking. That's how they look at us. You love the dog, but you don't want them to eat at the table with you. You don't want them to eat off your spoons. Right? So that's the love that the oppressor has for us. Right? You know, he loves you to an extent, but he don't want you, eating out the good bowls. He don't want you with the dog. The dog come in the house talking about he want rights. He want a room. He want his own room, and it's like, what? Why is you talking? Right? This is the love that we get from the oppressor. Right? Go ahead.
That reminds me when they told like the athletes shut up and play ball. Like,
yeah.
You can't talk about
Mm-hmm.
that. Shut up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. Right. Shut up and dribble. That's what she said, yo. Mm-hmm. Just shut up and dribble. Damn, he brother can't say nothing? He is an American, right? He's an American citizen. He can say what he want to say, right? He does have an opinion, but you don't have an opinion. Nobody wants to hear the dog doesn't get an opinion. You'd be like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, this, and this, and then the dog walk in the room like, look, I don't want to do that. He's gonna be like, what? How do you talk? Right? What are you doing talking? That's how our relationship is here in America, right? And out of the fear that we don't want to face the reality of the situation, that's what causes us to Jesus all goddamn Sunday. You know how I know? Because there's a church right across the street from me. And they be in there all morning, getting it on, singing everything. I gotta turn the TV up. It's like, man, I just can't stand the gospel music. Cause the BET Awards, they had Kirk Franklin on there. I was like, oh man, this dude just won't go away. He just won't go away. How do they keep Kirk Franklin around like that? It must be people who are downloading his album or something, downloading his music. I never knew what he actually do. He's like a hype man, right? That's what he is. He's like a church hype man. He's the Flavor Flav of church. All right, go ahead.
Well, sir, and then like when you was talking about earlier, like if we do have the audacity to say Black Lives Matter, they counter with All Lives Matter or Blue Lives Matter,
right?
Or something to take the focus off of Black lives.
Right, exactly. They hijack everything we do. Everything is hijacked, right? But nobody hijacked Stop Asian Hate, though. Nobody said, well, stop Asian hate, stop all hate. Nobody said that, right? Go ahead.
The brother made a good comment. He said they love their dogs more than us.
That's right. I seen a meme that said, Flint, Michigan still doesn't have clean water. Did somebody tell them that the dogs don't have clean water? Have anybody tried that? Some of the dogs don't have clean water. And maybe that'll work, right? To get some clean water in Flint, Michigan. All right. We got Power Beezy in the house. I love old him. She says she loved old hymns. She loved them hymns, right? They at the back of the pew. They at the back of the pews. Right? Oh man, she just trolling, right? She just trolling. All right. All right. So keep reading. Keep reading. You got it, Warrior.
The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 6.
She's trolling me. Go ahead.
Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings?
Right. So in this time, the brothers was afraid to go out to camp. They was afraid of what could happen when you go into a certain place and you start to say that the place is going to be destroyed, right? That's what we do. We going into the hood telling them the hood going to be destroyed. Guys don't want to hear that, right? And sometimes, you know, look, when we first had camp here, man, the first thing they said was, I don't know if y'all want to come to Delaware. I don't know about that. Same thing they said in Detroit. Same thing they said in California. Same thing they said in Florida. Same thing they said in New York. Same thing they said everywhere. I don't know if y'all want to come here. Like, everybody's hood is just more worse than the other one, right? I think that's like the best hood, right? Whoever gets killed the most, right? That's so goddamn stupid. But my point is, what Christ is trying to help them to understand is not to be afraid, right? Because he said, what did he say? He said, are not 5 sparrows for 2 farthings? Meaning, a sparrow is very cheap, right? A sparrow is very cheap to buy, right? Right? Read on.
And not one of them is forgotten before that power. Right.
So even the Lord, even though a pigeon, a farthing, a sparrow, a farthing is not sold for is sold for 2 farthing, 5 sparrows for 2 farthing. It's meaning like how cheap this bird is. Now this bird, as cheap as it is, the Lord is still watching this bird, right? So if this bird is cheap, how much more do you think that you're worth, right? You're doing the work of the Lord. This sparrow ain't. This bird ain't. You can get 5 of them for cheap. So what should you be afraid of? Read on. Fear not. Oh, wait a minute. One of them forgotten, and not one of them is forgotten before God. Read on.
Verse 7. But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered.
Mm-hmm.
Fear not, therefore.
Mm-hmm.
Ye are of more value than many sparrows.
You see that? So what the hell are you afraid of? This is what Christ is trying to help them to understand. Because, I mean, ain't we more valuable than a bird?
Right.
A pigeon. More valuable than a pigeon, right? So what do you gotta be afraid of? Right? Maybe you should, get your priorities straight. And understand that, ain't nothing to fear. Get your ass up and get out there, man. Come on, let's go. Everybody want to talk about what they gonna do. Man, see, I was out there. Nigga, you ain't, right? You're not out here. We know when niggas come through, I'm just speaking like this, y'all, because, y'all my peoples, but, when niggas come to class and stuff like that and they don't really stay, it's because they're afraid. You're afraid, man. It's something that you're afraid of. You want to make sure everything is right when you come into the school. So I can just stop smoking. I can just get off of crack. I can just, just go in and I could be the best nigga that, come on now. It don't work like that. That's not how life works. You know how many niggas smoke cigarettes and they just say, I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna stop smoking, man. I'm gonna get, you know what? I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna stop smoking cigarettes, but I'm gonna get the e-cigarette, right? I'm gonna get the e-cigarette because that's not the same as smoking, but it's still smoking, right? And then when something comes up and the doctor say you gotta stop because of cancer or whatever it is, right? Then you'll stop, right? But you always got to understand that nobody comes into the truth, we come in wholeheartedly, but the initial step that we take is a step that's not completely sure, right? Because I don't know about y'all, but I remember I was driving one day. I remember like it was yesterday, man. I was on Maryland Avenue, and the thought came in my head that, all right, I'm gonna try this out for 90 days. I'm gonna go to class for 90 days. I'm gonna try it out, and I'm gonna see what's gonna work. And in my mind, I made my decision. Right? I didn't talk to nobody. I didn't do anything. I just was driving, and I was like, thought in my head, I'm gonna go to class, and I'm gonna try it out for 90 days. And I did. Right? And I'm still here now. It was the best goddamn conversation I had in my head with myself. Right? But But when I went into the situation, unsure of what was going to come out of the situation. The best thing that I did was to approach the situation with a level of fearlessness, right? With a level of not knowing how it's going to turn out, but still at least taking the steps to say, you know what, I'm going to go through this door and I'm going to see what the Lord got for me, right? But in order for you to get that, you have to be fearless. You have to have a level of fearlessness that's going to make you take your feet back from Satan, right? Make you take your arms back in different parts of your body so that you can get yourself together, so that you can get on that bus or get in that taxi. Damn. Get in the Uber. That taxi is almost gone. But yeah, like the payphone. Right. So you gotta, you know, have that level of fearlessness so that you can go to that next step, right? And that can work for you in life too, man. In life, right? I realized through my whole life, man, a lot of times, man, we didn't know these things that our parents didn't teach. Reach the highest potential that you can reach in life, man. And before you know it, you look up, man, and you old now. And now your spirit is weighed down. Your spirit is weighed down because, you know, you've been afraid for so goddamn long. So now you just kind of just go to work every day. I'm going to get my 401k one day, right? I think my biggest thing was just working at a job full of old people. So I was able to see that and say, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the nigga in here like living the dream. I know y'all hear that. Don't y'all hear that? Oh, another day in paradise. Oh man, I hate that. When somebody speak to me in the morning, they be like, "Oh, good morning." I be like, "Oh, good morning, man." They be like, "Another day in paradise," and I'm like, they're afraid, and I'm not gonna be afraid, right? Because remember, with the truth, you can apply it to every part of your life, man, right? And you can see what the Lord can have for you, man. You in the best position, right? You working for the power that controls life and death, right? So either way, you're gonna be good. You just got to be able to make the decision within yourself, man, within your spirit, right? To say, you know what? I want to go to the next level, right? You in here, I'm a trooper. I want to be an officer. I want to jump out of the frying pan and get into the fire, right? I want to be an officer of 500, an officer of 1,000, right? I want to be a captain. I want to move up. I want to be an officer of 5,000 forever. I don't know when niggas got it effed up. I'm not afraid to go into management, right? Some people are. You're afraid to go into management because the check-ins get more, you know, because now you're in charge of a region, right? But I'm not afraid of that. I welcome that, man. Let me get up in there, man. Get up in here, man. I don't want to be a 5,000 forever. I want to move up. The hell you talking about? Y'all got the game jacked up. You know what I'm saying? I know Matthias Bottom want to be a 5,000 forever. He want to move up, right? But you can't move up if you're afraid, right? Fear, man, is what keeps everybody jacked up. And hopefully by the end of this class, you'll be fearless, man. At least to be on your way to not fearing as much as you were fearing when you came in here today, right? When you don't live your life in fear, it gives you greater power. You know how you could tell that Captain Mashak, when you hear him speak, you see the way Captain Mashak speak? Because he's fearless. You can tell. You can tell me y'all can't tell that. You can tell when Commander General Yohana get up there and speak. He's speaking from a place of fearlessness. When General Muhammad speaks, he speaks from a place of fearlessness. General Haas, man. General Haas speaks from a place of being sure of himself. And when you don't fear and you're sure of yourself, then people will follow you, man. People will follow you because obviously you're led by something. Obviously you have the ability to make good decisions. You can work good under pressure, right? because people are watching the decisions you make, the type of person you are, right? How you respond to conflict, how you can lead, right? Those are things that you might not know that people are watching you and really taking notice of, right? So you gotta be that person, man, that can, you know, step into the position and get the job done, right? But you can't do it when you're afraid. The sisters that's in here, man, they made that decision. Because look, think about it like this. A sister coming into the ISUBK, a room full of niggas. Right? How many sisters are gonna come into a room full of niggas? Come on now. Y'all know I'm not lying. Sister gonna be like, I'm not going in there. She's gonna be talking to you outside the class. Like, I'm not going in there. No, I don't want to go in there. You gonna be over there. They cool. They cool niggas. Right? She don't want to come in here. But the sisters that do come in here, they're very peculiar. Right? Special. Different type of sisters. Sisters that'll punch you in your face. Right? Punch you dead in the eye, like Queen Latifah, boy. Queen Latifah will punch you in the face. Don't get it twisted. You call her the B word, she gonna punch you in the face. Let me see. How much time I got? All right. I got a few more, right? All right, 8:29. I got a few more scriptures, all right? And I promise we're gonna hopefully by the end of this class, y'all will be good to go. All right. So let me get Psalms 27:3.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Though an host should encamp against me,
my
heart shall not fear.
Mm-hmm.
Though war shall rise against me, in this I will be confident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what you got to do, man. You got to be confident. You got to be confident in everything that you do. You got to be self-reliant, man. Self-reliant on yourself, because that's the first thing you got to do is be reliant on yourself, man. Right? Don't be afraid to get up here and speak, man. I don't want to do all the goddamn classes. I don't. Trust me, I don't. That's keeping it funky, right? Don't be afraid to get into this position. Get up here, man. Test it out. Fill it out, right? Don't be afraid. Mike, like, the hell with that. The hell this nigga talking about. I'm not going up there. Nah, come up here, man, and get it on. That's right, man. I wish we could have Hebrew Academy for the sisters too. We get them out there, get the sisters out there, get it on. The sisters are like, I'm leaving. Read it one more time, please.
The book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 3. Though an host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war shall rise against me, in this will I be confident.
And that's what I'll be confident, man. Because remember, sometimes when you face situations, right? And I'll give you my own example, right? Sometimes you'll face situations in your life, right? And you'll think that just by you not really, you'll think that sometimes, like when you come up against situations in your life, that just by being passive, you just end up getting peace, right? By just not approaching the situation. But a lot of times you'll realize that you don't get it because it's kind of like you get a false sense of it. And then you kind of realize that you didn't get the peace that you really wanted. Because what would have really gave you the peace? What have really gave you the peace is by telling this MFer off, right? That would have really gave you the peace that you really wanted. Look, I don't know, Salaki, y'all. You ever heard somebody come to you and be like, man, this person said this and they said this, and this. But I was like, yo, this, and this. And I said this and that. And then I'd be looking at him, I'd be like, you didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you. You know, like I remember this cat at my slavery. He was like, "Yeah, man, this person called me on the phone and they was telling me this and that," and I was like, "Man, you better get what? You better give me what I ordered and all this." And I'm like, "You didn't say that. You didn't say that's what would have made you have the peace. So you coming to me and you're lying about it because that's what you really wanted to say, but you didn't say that because you're afraid." And that's just real. Go ahead and talk about
David's also saying it because, you know, the Lord is with David.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like brothers in here, you know, you don't have to be afraid of anything because the Lord is with you. You see what I'm saying? Whether you outside of the school, whether you in here, you get it on.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord is with you.
That's right, man. The Lord is with you, man. Always know that. And just always understand this too, man. Make niggas respect you, man. You in the ISUPK now. Niggas gotta respect you, man. They better respect you, man. If they don't respect you, then make them respect you.
That's right.
Right? That's how you do it, man. Niggas, look, man, I demand my goddamn respect, man. I don't give a damn. If I gotta disrespect you out here in front of everybody, you gonna at least respect the fact that I disrespected you in front of everybody, right? Because look, the sacrifice that you made, it should be respected, man. The sacrifices that the sisters made, it should be respected. You know what I mean? These sisters in here cooking and don't have to do none of that, right? But they doing it. They rocking with us. All this hardcore stuff we talking about. I wanted to say the S word, but, you know, had to switch it up. But all this hardcore stuff we talking about in here, man. And for a sister to be down with that and still stay here, oh, man, she deserves to be respected. She deserves to be respected. And if any nigga comes up against that, man, then it's just going to have to be 50 niggas outside of this crib.
Damn right.
That's just what it's going to have to be because I know the sister. I don't know you, right? And I know if this sister's coming to me saying that this shit happened, then I know that she's not lying because I know her. I don't know you, right? And I have no issue with calling the general and telling the general, Salagi, sir, we need, you know, I need to go out there and handle something, whatever. And the general say, okay, well, I'm going to send like 4 camps over there. And we got a bunch of niggas standing around. We got a bunch of niggas that's ready to see what the hell's going on. Because let me tell you something, man. We ain't no goddamn Christians, man.
Right.
That's what guys got to realize. Like, niggas be thinking like we're afraid of really dealing with everything because we afraid to go to hell or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, niggas be thinking like we like Christians or something. Nigga, I don't believe what you believe.
Right.
I don't want to hate nobody because you gonna go to hell when you die? Nah, there ain't none of that. Look, man, let me tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you, I learned it, man. I'm gonna tell you, man, being out there with Captain Todd War, man. Captain Todd War is fearless, man. Captain Todd War be out, man. Look, if you want to learn that skill, man, Captain Todd War is fearless, man. But Todd the Pop, boy, when that nigga came over, remember that nigga was like, just keep us out of it. Remember we talking about the Muslims? Nigga came over to me, and I'm like, well, we going to teach the truth regardless. The nigga said, well, just keep us out of it. What did Mataza do? Mataza went up there and went hard on the religion, on the Arabs. I'm over there like, Mataza was going hard, boy. I was like, yeah. Like, oh, man, we got to do a report tonight. We're definitely going to be in the council tonight. But that's the point I'm trying to make, man. Like, fearlessness, man, like, that's going to give you more power in life, man. More power. And that's what I want. More power. I'm going to get that Range Rover, man. The 2021 with the touchscreen. I'm going to be just like this. Where you want to go? All right. Delaware School. Boom. Right? Get it on, right? And that's what we got to do, man. Look. So hopefully, man, this class taught y'all, man, to be fearless, man, and not worry about nothing that life can throw at you. Because remember, whatever life throws at you that's negative, you can always turn it into a positive. It just depends on how you look at the situation, right? Because when life throws you the curveball, you'll learn how to get around the curveball. And you can teach other brothers and sisters how to get around the curveball. Right? So if you're not fearless by the end of this class, right? at least you'll not be as afraid of everything as you was when you first came into this class. All right. With that being said, I'm gonna turn the class over to Precinct Officer Thusha Young.
This ISUPK security announcements. Rules for new brothers and new sisters. When a new brother or new sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to be shared themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister have an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the head. Tithing, which is a commandment, a ma'asharah, which is a tenth, which means a tenth in Hebrew. Numbers 18 to 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. That's a tenth of every penny of any increase the Lord give unto you. Preach fund is a free will offering. It's not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like, you can give. Up and coming holy convocations is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet. That's September the 6th. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband and scarf, and saying that, Amijah, we're going to give Precinct Officer Tazayawan courtesy salute. Amijah Shabbat, Amijah, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yam Matah, Sar. We're going to give the sisters a courtesy salute. Sisters, Amijah Shabbat, Amijah, Barak,
Yahweh Shemar Son by Hashem Yahushua.
Yam Matah,
No.
Salakia.
Yahweh Shemar Son by Hashem Yahushua.
Yam Matah, class dismissed.